The thought you have after your conscious thought is the most important thought you can have. And so this is what I mean by that, is when you think something consciously, oftentimes there's this little voice that comes from the back of your head and says something in response to that thought. And for me, that is the most valuable thing I can pay attention to going on inside of my head, because the thought that you just experienced in that particular way is what the subconscious mind believes. What it believes about you, what it believes about the world, what it believes about your interaction with the world. And it's going to operate from that position as if it is true. And so if we are paying attention to those, we're actually getting the keys to deep, lasting transformation. So today what we're going to do is we're going to talk about those tail-ending thoughts, why they exist, and how we can use those to create lasting transformation. This is Gene Monterastelli, and welcome to the Tapping Q&A podcast, recorded live to tape from Williamsburg in Brooklyn. This is episode 595, originally aired January 24th, 2024. Hi, everyone. I hope this finds you well wherever you are and whatever time of day you're getting a chance to join me. Thanks for spending a little time with me today. Now, years and years ago, when I was first introduced to tapping, one of the words, the terms, the ideas that was thrown around a lot was this idea of tailenders. And recently, as I have been reintroducing that through my tapping journal and with my students, I've come to the realization that most people don't know what a tailender is, or they know what it is, but they don't know what it is by that particular name. So today what we're going to do is we're going to explore tailenders, figure out what they are, where they come from, and how we can use them in a super, super valuable way. Now, before we do that, as we talk about this process, we're going to be talking about tapping. Tapping is the primary tool I use to create transformation in my life, and it is in the midst of tapping that these tailenders show up. If you are new to tapping and you'd like to learn the basics of this amazing tool that I use daily, that I use with my clients, all you need to do is follow the little red arrow in the upper right-hand corner. That will take you to learntotap.com, and it'll give you all of the basics, and it'll walk you through this super powerful tool so you can start using it right away. Back in December, I released my new tapping journal, and this was a process that was built off of my morning tapping every single morning. And over the course of the last number of years, I've been refining it, I've been working on it, and the journal is a little 90-day guide that walks people through what to do, and there are 4 parts every single day. Part 1 is a little wordless tapping, Part 2 is different and unique every single day to give us some variety in that tapping, Part 3 is just capturing insights and making sure we don't lose what has been bubbling up. And then part 4 is where we track what is going on. We cross off the day that we've done it, and then we pay attention to the insights that have come forward, and we pay attention to the tailenders that showed up when we were tapping. Now, when I released this, I did not realize that many of my students had not been introduced to the idea of tailenders. And so over the course of the last number of weeks, as people have been using the process every single day, because I'm talking about everyday tailenders, they're like, what are tailenders again? And so what I wanted to do today is I just wanted to walk you through this idea of tailenders, but most importantly, why I think it is the most important, valuable part of any tapping that we do. So to begin with, a tailender is basically anything that tail ends onto something that you say. So oftentimes when we are tapping aspirationally. We're tapping on, I want to lose weight, I want to love myself, I want to move forward, I want to be successful. And so when we say those things, oftentimes when we make a declarative statement of the thing that we want or the action we want to take, the subconscious mind speaks up. And it says what it believes. So for example, if I said, I'm going to lose 25 pounds to begin the year, what my subconscious mind might say to me is, no, you're not. You failed before and you're going to fail again. And so that idea has come on the tail end of the thing that I am saying. So that's the reason why we call them tail enders. Now, almost always, the tail ender that is going to show up is going to contradict the thing we just said. And this idea that is coming from the subconscious mind that is contradictory is not being contradictory just to be contradictory. Instead, our subconscious mind has beliefs about us and beliefs about the world, what we're capable of, what we're not capable of, what is safe, what is not safe, how the world works. And so anytime we consciously tune into an idea that goes against the truth, and I'm going to put that in inverted commas or quotes, whatever truth the subconscious mind believes, if it's counter to that, the subconscious mind can't be quiet because the subconscious mind is trying to keep us safe. And so it's almost like an alarm. Every single time something triggers the alarm goes off to let us know there's danger. That's what the subconscious mind is doing. And so if I am saying something or if I am thinking something that goes against the truth that my subconscious mind believes, it has to speak up. It can't stay quiet because that's how it keeps us safe. So every single time I think or say something that there is a story in my subconscious mind that it doesn't believe, it has to speak up. It produces a tail ender in response. Now, for me, that is the best thing in the world. Not that I have this scolding voice inside of my head that is telling me that I am not lovable, I am not capable, I'm going to fail again. I hate that particular part of it. But the thing that I love it, or the reason why I love it, is because it is giving me a gift. The gift that tail ender is giving me is it is telling me the subconscious belief I have about myself or the world that is counter to the transformation I'm trying to create in this moment. And if the subconscious mind believes something to be true, it is going to make sure we live in a way that is true with that. So for example, if I say, I'm going to lose 25 pounds, and my subconscious mind says, no, you're not, you failed before, you're going to fail again, and to then keep me safe from having success and backsliding, the subconscious mind is going to make sure I never succeed. So even though consciously I know I want to lose this weight for health reasons, for self-esteem reasons, for whatever reason, the subconscious mind doesn't think it's safe to achieve a goal and then lose it because that's really painful. So it's going to do everything in its power to make sure I don't do that. So what this means is every piece of thought, every piece of resistance that comes forward from the subconscious mind is telling us what we need to be tapping on next, what we need to be clearing next. Because as long as that little voice, and sometimes it's called our critical voice because it's criticizing us, it's not criticizing us. It's speaking what it thinks is the truth to keep us safe, which it does through criticizing us. And so every single time I sit down to tap, I always sit down to tap with a pen in my hand. The reason why is part of the tapping journal process is I have us capture those tail enders is because those then become the keys to what we're going to do next. So when I'm tapping, if a tail ender comes up, I have 3 different responses I have to the tail ender. The first response is, as it comes up, I am just going to tap on it right then. I'm trying to do something in the moment, tail ender comes up, that's the next thing I tap on, that's the next thing I tap on. Sometimes I'm in a circumstance, the tail ender that comes up is too big for me to deal with in the moment. So for example, if I'm trying to do some tapping to reduce my overwhelm in the middle of the day, so I'm just taking 90 seconds to calm myself down. In the process of calming myself down, I hear a really big tail ender about how I'm not capable of being successful, but I don't have the time to deal with it right now. I'm going to write that tail ender down so that at the end of the day or later in the week, when I set aside a larger chunk of time to do some of that deeper work, I now have that captured so I don't forget it. The mistake that I used to make all the time is, oh, this is so valuable, I'm going to remember it. And then in the future, the only thing I remember is there was something valuable that I needed to remember, but I don't remember what that thing is. So that's the reason why I write these down. So if I don't have time right now to deal with it on my own, then I know in the future I'm going to do that and I have it written down. The third way I deal with the tail ender is sometimes this big honking thing comes up and I realize I am too close to deal with it for myself. I write it down so the next time I'm doing work with my practitioner, because yes, I work with a practitioner too, when I am working with my practitioner, I can bring it up and then we can work on it together. And so as they are bubbling up, depending on the context of the moment and the amount of time that I have and the size of the issue, I might respond to the tail ender right now, or I might deal with it in the future. The other thing that I love about jotting down tail enders, because I literally have a list of tail enders that come up when I'm tapping every single morning and I'm tapping throughout the day, is sometimes something doesn't feel big, but because of the number of times it comes up, I recognize it's a much bigger deal than I thought. So for example, a couple of years ago, as I was kicking off the new year in 2022, and I was doing my daily tapping as I was creating some changes in my business, on 8 different days in the month of January, I had wrote down some version of professional jealousy that was coming up as a tail ender. Oh, they can do this. I can. It's easier for them. It's not easy for me. They're worthy of success. I'm not. And each one of those by themselves wasn't that big of a deal that I could kind of calm it down in the moment, continue the work I was doing. But the fact that it showed up over and over and over again, and it didn't show up every day, but for something to show up 8 times over the course of tapping in 31 days, that's really, really significant. Once is an anomaly, twice is a coincidence, 3 times is a pattern. So in addition to paying attention to what's coming up and it's telling me what's there, if something keeps coming up over and over and over and over again, it's giving me really valuable information. So that is the reason why I have a love-hate relationship with tail enders. I hate hearing that critical voice telling me how I'm going to fail, what's going to go wrong, what I'm not capable of. But I love the fact that my subconscious mind is showing all of its cards. It's telling me exactly the subconscious belief that is in the way of me wanting to do what is going on. And one of the things I'm realizing more and more, for those of us who've been in tapping for a while, once we have an issue to tap on, we know how to tap on it. We have lots of tools. We have lots of approaches. The problem isn't knowing how to tap. The problem is, what do we tap on? Because sometimes it's really hard to know what that is. And so that's all tail enders are doing. Tail enders are just making it super, super easy for us to be able to engage with them and to have the truth of what we need to be working on. Because when we're going after the thing that is directly in front of us, that is directly in the way, we are most likely to have success. Because we can have memories and traumas that we know that are floating around back there, and we can tap on them and that can be valuable, but they might not be related to what's in front of us today. If I'm thinking about what is in front of me and that critical voice starts giving me tail enders, again, it is such a gift because you know the obstacle that is immediately in front of you, the one that needs to be dealt with next. As I have been talking about the tapping journal, if you would like to get a copy of that journal as well, so you can tap every single morning with me, you actually have 2 options to get the journal. One, for $40, you can get the journal directly from Amazon. All you need to do is go to tappingqanda.com/Amazon-book. That's tappingqanda.com/Amazon-book. Or for only $10, basically, I am buying the book for you, and all you have to do is pay for shipping and handling, is you can get a copy of the book for $10 if you give the Authentic Action Academy a try. If you'd like more information about that special offer, all you need to do is go to tappingqanda.com/10-dollars, and that's the number 10. So that's tappingqanda.com/10-dollars. And as you look at the screen right now, you can see the playlist of all of the podcast episodes going back, all the teachings that we're doing. If you enjoyed this right now, all you need to do is click on that playlist right there and continue to enjoy the amazing content. Until next time, Gene Monterastelli. I'll talk to you real soon.